Hello there and welcome back to the Achievement Planner, and today I'm coming to you with Medieval Dynasty, and this is an amazing crafting game set in the medieval times, and I want to thank Survivor's Handbook for helping me get started on this game, and also Night of Fire for saying I should play it because it's amazing. Yeah, so here we go. This is the game. This game has 44 achievements for 1,000 gamer score, 2 out of 10 difficulty. Now, this is the part where it's with the custom settings. I would say 2 out of 10 difficulty. If it could be 10 out of 10 difficulty. It's one of those games where you could set all the settings yourself. So if you put on the fact you can't die, if you put on invincibility, then obviously it's 1 out of 10. But if you have other custom settings like enemies are stronger and you could die from poison, things like that, so then it's going to be a lot harder. I would say some of the best custom settings you can use are is a bigger inventory, unlimited inventory, so that you can carry everything. You could also turn on, no dying, no getting tired, a lot of these things. So yeah, you could look at the settings and make it the game you want, because that's the point. Make it the game you want. It doesn't affect the achievements, except for one point, but I'll tell you about that. The completion time 60 to 90 hours. It really depends how you play and how long you want to play. But this is the average. All right, so here, playthrough number 1, bad achievements. Now, you do not have to play the playthroughs like I did. This is how I did it. I'm just explaining this. The reason why I did it this way is because I didn't want my character to have negative stuff going on in their life, and then the people that he's interacting with don't like him. Plus, if you get too many points negative against you, you can get kicked out of town. So I didn't want any of that. So I tried to get all these bad achievements out of the way first. You do not have to do this necessarily. You could just start with playthrough number 2. All right, but I'll go over what that means. Playthrough number 2 is basically just playing the story for the story achievements and the progress achievements. And then playthrough number 3 is also not a playthrough. It's basically like a cleanup, doing side quests, and then playing as your heir eventually. What? You have a child, and then getting $1 million, which takes a long time. But I'll go over how to do all that. By category 1, bad achievements, 7 achievements for 85 gamer score. And again, you don't have to do these right away. You could do them as you're playing the regular game. But if you do these things, it's going to make the people not like you as much, and you might get kicked out of town. So, number 1, oopsie daisy, die. All right, well, you know what that means. Number 2, it wasn't me. Get caught stealing for the first time. So when you go up to something, if it's red, don't touch it, or else you're going to steal it. And then they're going to not like you, and then you're going to get in trouble. But if you want this achievement, do it. All right, number 3, I may not be good at it after all. Get caught stealing 50 times during one dynasty. So just get caught stealing 50 times. You can steal, and if they don't see you, you're not actually caught stealing. So just make sure they see you 50 times. 4, must have been the wind. Sell 50 of the stolen goods during one dynasty. You may not believe this, but I didn't steal anything when I was actually playing my regular playthrough. Why not? I could have. I don't know. I just don't like stealing things. But in this playthrough, this early one, I did steal things. So here's the deal. If you steal things, you cannot sell it in the town you stole it from. If you steal things, you can go to any other town and sell it. That's how you make early money. If you do want to steal things, that's totally how you want to play, do that. Steal from a town. Well, don't get caught, but and then sell it to the other town, and then you'll make a lot of money in the early game. All right, 5, I am not drunk. I don't know why I said it like that. That wasn't very good. But yeah, be drunk. So the way to be drunk, all right, is obviously to just keep drinking ales, buy ales, keep drinking, and then do it. Try to buy as many as you can and use them at the same time. I think it was like 6 or 7 would get you drunk. I forget. But if you want to do this with a quest, there's an easy quest to do this with. If you go to Gostovia and talk to the tavern keeper there, and her name is Dobroniga. I think that's her name. But yeah, she'll give you 6 oat ales to take to Unigost as part of the quest. So what you need to do, if you're doing it with this quest, save the game, talk to her again, and ask to see her wares, sell everything in your inventory. This is if you're just doing it quickly. You could also do that instead of playing a whole playthrough. And then get the oat ales, and then buy a 7th one. Once you buy that 7th one, drink all of them. And so yeah, it looks like 7 is the amount that you need to be fully drunk. So yeah, either you could just buy them ahead of time or wait for this quest. And then she'll give you that, and then it'll be really easy. You don't have to actually buy anything, because you can reload your save. All right, so that's the best thing for that. 6, Dirty Henry. be 100% dirty. So the best ways to be dirty is by farming. If you put on no damage, you could punch the ground. Yeah, if you punch the ground, you get dirty. Anyway, but you might hurt yourself if you're gonna not turn on no damage. You could also get dirty by jumping. And basically, over time, as long as you're not going through the water or bathing yourself, you will get dirty. So you will get this over time if you just leave your character and don't bathe or go in the water, all right? And number 7, I wonder how many I could fit. Get 12 status effects at once. So what you need to do is find the herbalist, and the village of Baranica is the one closest to the starting point, and they actually have one. So go to that town, and then once you're there, you need to talk to the herbalist and buy. I'm going to actually put it up on the screen how many you need, which ones you need. You could see it here, like poison. Lovely. Let's drink poison. No, don't drink poison. That's horrible. But anyway, poison, potion of camouflage, potion of cure. You can see what all these things are. I drank all of these. Yeah. And what happened was I got 12 status effects. I obviously did this on my bad playthrough. Or you can reload your save. Yeah, that's how you do that. But so you're going to also need to get money at that point. So if you're doing a bad playthrough like I did, you would have plenty of money from stealing. Yeah, exactly. So you do that however you want to do it. Category number 2, story achievements, 5 achievements for 75 gamer score. And these are just basically things you get as you play the main story. Finish the main quest, build your first house, get your first inhabitant, and have a wife. Those are all things you're definitely going to get earlier on. You're going to build your first house, obviously, very soon. But having a wife, all you do for having a wife, you need to just romance. When you see the people in all the towns, if you start talking romantically to the one, and then you do all the options for that, then your affection will go up. And then at some point she'll be like, I'm done talking, no more. All right, fine. Then come back another day, keep talking to her, keep talking to, obviously, or him. It depends, who the character is. But I had a wife, so keep talking to her over and over, and you can give gifts too. Where do you get gifts? You can get gifts from the trader. You can buy; they're expensive though, or you can find them in loot just all around the world. So yeah, and then eventually she will marry you, or he will marry you. Yeah, isn't that wonderful? Now, the heir, on the other hand, to do an heir, you need to get married, and you have to do all the romantic options, all right? Continue to do the romantic options after you're married and she's living with you, or he's living with you. And then eventually suggest a child when that comes up. And then she'll say, come back after 7 p.m. and we'll have a child. That's very specific. If it's before 7 p.m., you're not having a child. Yeah, she will tell you that. And then you have a child. Yeah. Now, how do you play as the heir, though? You need to literally help this kid become 18 years old. You need to give him everything he needs. He's going to ask for things. You need to do quests that he has. Otherwise, your relationship status with your wife and your heir will like go down, and you'll be And I didn't actually do that. I just did all the quests. I don't know if he won't feel like disown you or something. I don't know. But in order to play as him, mine was a son. That's why I'm saying he. But in order to play as him, he has to be 18. And that's a long time, to be honest. It was one of my last achievements. So that's how you get that, though. Category 3, development achievements. 9 achievements for 270 gamer score. So when I went on Survivor's Handbook's game, because I first went on his game just to try it out before I actually started my own, I got like 4 of these achievements just because he was playing. He already had established a town and created it. So I got the first 4, I think. I was like, oh, okay, that was easy. But what you need to do to get all of these is you need to make 61 buildings with the normal building limit. Yeah, and so he helped me with that, but he didn't even realize he did. But 61 buildings. So as you play the game, you'll be able to do more and more buildings. Now, here's the issue. If you change the building limit size in the settings, then it's all of a sudden going to make that more than 61. This is where you probably don't want to change the settings, and it will affect the achievements in this way. So I made it so I could build 200% of the buildings instead of 100%. And because of that, I ended up having to build like 80-something buildings. But I didn't understand why it wasn't working at 61 like everybody else said it was supposed to be, 61 buildings. So that is why, to get city, number 9, I had to make so many buildings. So what I suggest is don't increase the building size, even though you'll make less money, I guess, whatever. But yeah, just make your 61st building. Oh, also, you don't have to actually build the whole building. You just have to put the base down. Like I'm building a house. Put the base down for a house. That should count as the building. You don't have to actually build the entire thing with all the materials. All right. So that's how you do that. So yeah. And if you, I guess if you were to go on like I don't know. If you were to go on, no, you can't. See, Survivor's Handbook was in co-op mode. So it was a separate story. My story, for example, is just a regular story. It's not in the co-op mode story, if that made sense. So you couldn't go on my world and then get all of these things, unfortunately. I would have had to start it on the co-op world, which I didn't. All right, so hopefully that all made sense. So category 4, money achievements. 3 achievements for 70 gamer score. Number 1, look at my mount. And this is for getting a mount. In my case, I got a donkey. So to get a mount, you have to build the stable from your first stable from the animal husbandry category. I could talk. All right. Once you get that stable or a donkey shelter, you could also get a donkey shelter, which I did. You search for an animal to buy, and when you're just around different towns, you can buy horses. Hornica has horses, and they're 10,000 coins, and eventually you'll have all this money. And donkeys can be bought, and I got one from Tutki, I think, and it was 5,000 coins. So all right, so you made a stable or a donkey shelter. You bought a horse or a donkey. Once you buy it, this is where it's tricky because you got a mount, right? No, your animal will automatically be taken to your stable, and what you have to do is you have to purchase a saddle. Once you get that saddle, you have to travel back to your stable, place a saddle on the animal, and then you'll be able to ride it. Then you will get the achievement. Yeah, it took me a while because I wasn't sure. I didn't know I had to actually ride it with the saddle, and I couldn't get a saddle. So that's why that took a long time for me. But that's how you do it. Number 2, happy wife, happy life. Give your wife gifts for 2 following years. So what you need to do, each year has 4 seasons, which I guess we do in real life too. I guess not everybody does, but yeah, 4 seasons. And for each season, you need to give your wife a gift. And like I said, you could buy the gift from the traders that are going around. There's a specific trader that moves around to the different towns. Or from looting, you could pick up gifts. You'll see what the gifts are eventually when you start playing. Like necklaces and stuff. If you have to, and basically you have to give not for 2 years. You have to give for 9 gifts. That means 9 seasons. So what I did was I gave 8 gifts, 1 for each season. I'm like, why didn't I get this achievement? It's been 2 years. Once I gave that ninth gift, that's when I got the achievement. All right. Number 3, show me the money. 50 gamer score. Have 1 million coins. This was by far the longest achievement in this whole game. It was the last achievement I had. Actually, it was the second to last achievement. I'll explain. But yeah, in order to do this, what I did was I bought all the mines, and I put a mine on it, and then I had people working in the mines, digging up the iron ore, digging up all the different kinds of ore, the bronze ore, and then besides sewing and cooking, I was also hunting and cooking meat, and I was selling those things to all the other towns. Now, with the iron and the bronze, I was creating iron pickaxes, bronze pickaxes, iron hammers, bronze hammers. I was doing all that, plus any of the looted stuff that I would find, and I would just keep selling everything to all the different towns. And it took a long time. There are different ways to do this. I can tell you this, that I am not very good at creating a management system of making money and all these people working. This is very easy. I think if you sell the mead, you can make a lot of money. If you do a lot of farming, you can make a lot of money. I'm not good at farming. I'm not good at all this stuff. So if you're good at this, and I'll probably put up a video. I don't know which video I'll put up. I think I'll put it up here. But it was a video that helped kind of figure out what you can do. Yeah, and it just takes time. If you're playing this game for fun and you just have everybody making money and doing all that stuff, you could put it on automatic so that they're automatically mining and then they're automatically making the pickaxes, and then you could just sell them, you know? Or you have selling stands in your actual town. So what I was also doing was I was having people in my town sell it. So literally, they were just mining, making stuff, selling it, and then putting the money right back into the main storage. Yeah, so they were just making me money. That's really the way you got to do this. So how you do it is up to you, but those are some thoughts about how you can do it. Category number 5, progress achievements. 7 achievements for 250 gamer score. All right. My stumps. Oh my gosh, the black eyed peas. Anyway, remove 100 stumps. I should not have just gone around and done this at first. I did this all at once. That was so dumb. I removed thousands of stumps in the game. I should have just done it during the game. Yeah. All right. Number 2, Strider. Visit every village during one dynasty, and here's a list of all of them. I think there were 10. I think there's 10 of them. But yeah, but that's all the villages you need to visit. It was really not hard at all. You actually end up going to a lot of them. Now you could also pay to fast travel to them, which is good. If you have a lot of money, that's going to be really helpful. But, you might want to go on the walk and just kill animals as you're going too. But you could get into danger. All right. Number 3, a helping hand. Complete 100 side quests. And for this was one of my last achievements because I was messing up. First of all, side quests are all over the place. And I left them until after the story for some reason. I don't know why I did. But I kept doing side quests, which a lot of them were easy. Some of them were like, go talk to someone. They say, pick this up for me. I would then buy from their own inventory the item they're looking for. And then I would say, hey, I got your item. And then they say, great, thanks. Are you kidding? I mean, wow. I mean, I know they're NPCs, but I still felt bad. But anyway, I did it that way. So yeah, you could see the side quest pop up. Here was my problem. I was saving, or I was like, let's say I was reloading a save, or I was dying, and then any progress I made would not count. So I was like, I know I did 100 side quests. There's no way to track it. But what was happening, was all the side quests I was doing weren't counting. So make sure you're saving. And I was saving over the wrong save. It's complicated what I did. But yeah, just make sure that you're going through the side quests and you're making sure they get saved. Yeah, because otherwise you'll be like me and you'll end up having to redo so many of them. All right. All right, number 4, village manager. Have at least 50 inhabitants. If you're just talking to people, you go into towns, talk to people, say, hey, you want to come to my town? And then they say, sure. It's very easy to do that. The problem is you need to build enough houses for them or else they're going to be mad and they're going to leave. Yeah. You could also shut off, do they need wood to burn and to get heat? Do they need food? Do they need drink? You could turn that off in the settings if you just want them to stay at your place. Otherwise, you need to make sure they're happy or else they will leave, all right? So just have at least 50 and you'll get that. Number 5, caveman. Have mines build on every cave on the map, and there are 5 mines. So you just have, basically what you can do is you could build a research storage, a simple house near it so that people can live there, and at least 2 miners with the assignments and tools. So give them their tools, and then if you have 2 miners there, you can have them working there. You can make a lot of money. But all you need to do for this achievement is build the mine on each of the caves. There's 5 caves. Number 6, hunting royale. Kill every type of wild animal during one dynasty. This does not include birds or fish. You only have to kill mammals for this to count. And here's a list of all the mammals that you have to kill. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Well, obviously, if you have no damage on, it's super easy to do this. No, I guess it's not super easy. The deer run away pretty often, but if you get a good bow, you'll get them. And then the wolves will obviously come to you, and same thing with the bears and the boar. Yeah, if you have damage on and they can hurt you, yeah, you might want to think about getting a really good weapon before going to fight the bears or the boar. Yeah. All right. The wolves, you might be able to just hit it with an axe. All right. And then the dynasty continues. Play as an heir. So actually, I already talked about this. You need to have an heir, make sure they're 18, and then you're able to play as them. All right. And so if you're doing 1-day seasons, so you can actually set your seasons to 1 day. Then if you're doing that, someone figured it out. If from age 0 to 18, it requires 28.8 hours in real life in order for them to grow all the way to 18, and then you can play as them. So you can do all the other achievements before you have this achievement. It's literally going to take almost 30 hours for this to happen in real life. So that's a huge chunk of your gaming time for this one, playing as the heir. So yeah, that was one of my last achievements. Category 6, level achievements, 6 achievements for 60 gamer score. And a lot of this you'll see just as you're playing. All of these things like extraction. The more you get iron and the more you dig up stuff, the more you'll increase that. It'll just increase. Like the more you farm, the more you create, more you hunt, it'll just all start going up. Diplomacy is like talking to people. Production is like, creating items. So yeah, just keep doing all that and it will go up eventually. I didn't have a problem with any of those. I just got them all naturally. If you're needing one, just focus on doing those actions to get them up. And then category 7, miscellaneous achievements, 3 achievements with 30 gamer score. Number 1, harvest in season. Harvest a field bigger than 6 by 6. So you can make fields and you can pick how big they are. Just make sure they have more than 6 going one way and 6 going the other way, and you'll get that. Number 2, well-earned rest. Sleep in your bed every night for the entire year. So what happens if you don't go in your bed and sleep at night? You'll just fall asleep and wake up. Yeah. And I actually forget, do you wake up in your bed or do you wake up out in the open? I think it was actually both at one point. But yeah, the point is you need to make sure you're actually in your bed every night for the entire year. Now, you could set the year for shorter. You could set it shorter so that it's less time, but just make sure you're in your bed. Number 3, I will pay next month, I swear. Have a tax debt of at least 5,000 coins. So now this is where you need to make a choice. All right, do you want tax debt in your actual game? The reason why I couldn't do this in my bad playthrough and then mess up my credit in the game is because you need to have houses and shops and things that you own in order to get taxes. If you don't own anything, then you're not going to get taxed on anything. So every spring after year 1, you'll get a quest for paying your taxes. It'll actually be a quest. And then they're calculated based on how many buildings and fields you have. So if you have no buildings and fields, you won't get taxed, so you can't do this immediately. So you need to basically just build things and have stuff, and then you could put the taxes up way high and get this pretty early on. The problem is once I did that, then I owed a lot of taxes. I'm like, okay. So then maybe that's another setting you don't want to do. Just let the taxes keep adding up to 5,000 and then eventually pay it off. Hopefully that made sense, but... All right, category 8, challenging achievements, 4 achievements for 160 gamer score. All right, not necessarily difficult, but challenging. Number 1, hedgehog. Impale an animal with 4 spears while it's still alive. All right, so this is what I was going to do. I was going to put the bear on, I was going to go on no damage mode and put the bear's health down really, really high, which means I can then, because if you put it on really low, 1 spear could maybe kill it. If you try to hunt a deer, you might kill them with 2 spears. So if you put the bear's health up to 1,000, or whatever animal up to 1,000, then they can take more spears into their body. That's horrible. But anyway, and then if you put your health and stamina up, or like no damage, then you can obviously fight these bears or whatever. The problem was I didn't want to do it like this. I actually didn't do it like this. I was surprised. I actually got stuck. Probably in the video you can see. I got stuck up on a mountain there, and there were 2 bears there. I just kept throwing spears, and luckily, the animal health may have been up, but yeah, I was able to get 4 spears into a bear. I was like, wow, I actually didn't have no damage on. That was good. Awesome. So yeah, but that's how you really do it. You can do it with your horse. Some people buy a horse and then that's really terrible though. But it is possible to do it with your horse also. All right. Number 2, warm-blooded, survive winter with no clothes on. So the problem people have is when it turns winter, they take their clothes off and then they don't get the achievement. A lot of people have had this problem. So what someone decided to do was unequip everything. You can use your tools, but you don't have them equipped to your actual bar. And then when you don't have anything equipped, no clothing and no tools, you just wait for the season. Again, you could shorten your seasons if you want. Then you will get that achievement. You just have to make sure. I actually took off everything, unequipped everything before it turned into winter, and I went to sleep right before winter. I woke up winter, nothing on, and as soon as the next season hit, I got the achievement. So that's the best way to do that. Number 3, I wasn't even looking. Hit the archery target and get 100 or more points. This was really hard. Okay, so a lot of people say you can do this with snowballs at the top. Eventually, you'll discover how to get an archery target. All right, that's one of the things you'll discover as you do missions. Everybody says use snowballs. I was not able to do it because snowballs they have a bigger range. But to do an actual arrow to get it at that distance, it was really difficult. So what I had to do, and you can probably see it here, I got someone else did this, and I copied what they did. I put targets all the way up, way far, up until I thought maybe that was 100 yeah, maybe that was far enough to get 100 points, because the distance is what gives you the far points. If you do it and you get it right in the center, and it's not going to be 100 points because you need to be far enough. So this is about how far I had it, and I just put them all in place in a big row all the way down, and just kept shooting arrows. And eventually one of them hit the target because there were so many there to hit, so that eventually it just did it. That's the best way to do this. If there's another way, please let me know in the comments, but this is the way I've seen a lot of people do it, because this was really difficult, but I did get it. Yeah, so that's that. Number 4, lumberjacked, and finished the quest by bringing 1,000 logs. All right, getting 1,000 logs is not hard. It just takes a lot of time. But this is why this is very missable. During the quest, and this is a little bit of a quest spoiler, I guess. During the quest, Unigost's Story 4, you'll be tasked by Sambor, that's his name, to deliver a parcel to Walrod. I know, great. I'm good at saying names, aren't I? Upon delivery, Walrod, this jokester, will ask you for help reinforcing the town's defenses, and he wants you to bring him 1,000 logs. All right. So now, if you continue talking to this guy and don't bring him the logs, he'll tell you that it was just a joke. Yeah. And then he'll be like, haha, you don't have to get those logs. All right, perfect. That quest is done. You finished it, right? The problem is you can't then go back and do the logs. You just missed it. So what you need to do is make a save after he gives you this quest to get 1,000 logs. Make a save, give him the 1,000 logs, or you could leave a save and then do it later on. I suggest just doing it early on. And then once you give him that, then you could reload the save and then find out he's joking, and then that's the actual quest. I mean, unless you could do the 1,000 logs as the actual quest, but I forget. But the point is that you're going to have a hard time carrying 1,000 logs. You cannot carry that many. So this is a good time to put on the unlimited inventory in the custom menu. So you can actually carry 1,000 logs, or you could just keep bringing them back to him and just keep dropping them by there and then keep giving them to him one at a time. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. If you want to put on the unlimited inventory, if you want to make the save and then wait till the end, it's all up to you. But just so you know and you don't miss it, that's how you do it. All right? And that is the entire game, and I really hope you enjoyed this game. It was a fantastic game, and I will see you next time in Achievement Planner.